What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Red Arms favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the second wave of Rogue One, basically Black Series figures, with the exception of Threepio, who's from Force Awakens. And I got a lot of stress going on right now. My computer may have taken a dump. Luckily, Adam Russman from Nerd Rage Radio let me borrow like his Mac TV thing, which I've been working on to try to edit these videos. As a result, my time is very limited. But I know I have a lot of stuff to get through, and I know you guys want to see a lot of this stuff, so I'm trying to work through it. But there's no skit today because I'm kind of stressed to the max. But size comparison-wise, there's a Hasbro Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper, and there's the SH Figuarts Luke. So size comparison-wise, they seem fine. So we'll start with Threepio, and he doesn't come with any accessories. There's some good and some bad here. The sculpt is great. Great sculpt work all throughout. The paint is very limited. It does have a finish, like a chromey finish. Not chrome. It's like a sparkly finish. And there's some accents on the eyes and stuff. But let's just kind of talk about it as we go. So there is paint on the eyes. It's like 3 white squares, which gives it. It's kind of clever because it gives it the illusion that it's lit up. But that's about it, and then the sculpt is good. So it has the swivel on a ball peg, which is connected to a hinge, so just a ball hinge. You get back and forth to there, and then the swivel. So that all works fairly well. And then you have the shoulders. Now the shoulders are a little bit more. They're actually, so this outer piece here swivels as a separate piece, and then the arm is on a ball hinge, so it actually works fairly well. It's the elbows that they just didn't do anything, and I guess because they just couldn't work this in for the price point. The pistons, not a lick of paint on this red either. No, I'm sorry, black underneath on the hand. This side has black underneath on the hand as well, and then the finish. Just no elbow joint whatsoever, which is a bummer. Wrist swivel, and then hinge, in and out. Same for the other side. It is relatively difficult, I have found, to get him in a like a 3PO pose. It's not impossible. It's just not the best. Then we have all these wires down in here, which are all painted. Which is like, thanks for trying, but it ends up looking like it's too vibrant, I think. It's too loud. It ends up looking like a pack of Skittles exploded in his stomach. So that's not the best. But we do have, it almost feels like a double, but it can't be, can it? Maybe it's a peg that sits down in there. I don't know. It's a great range, though, and then you get a little bit of a swivel. I think it's just enough for the Av. And then you get all the way back to there. And it doesn't really destroy the sculpt much. And then forward to there. So I think that's fairly well done. The diaper looks a little big, but not hateful. We have T-jointed ball joints for hips. These are a softer plastic around here on the hips, so they give to get you out to there, which you don't need anyway. And forward to there, which I think is fine for the character. And then we have a single knee hinge. It's smart the way they did that with the sculpt work and such. Gets you way less than 90 degrees, but ultimately, once again, for the character, I think it's fine. And then ankles, we have a tilt up, a tilt down, and a rocker. I don't have the Black Series R2 to put him next to. I have the Mafex one, but the Mafex 3PO is such a piece of junk that he's actually keeping, like the Mafex one's hand is resting on the R2-D2 and is actually keeping the hand inside of the joint. So I can't show you the size comparison without a lot of extra work and effort on my part, and I'm just not going to do it. But you saw what he looks like next to the SH Figuarts Luke and next to a Stormtrooper, so hopefully that'll give you an idea where he is. I think size-wise, he's fine. He doesn't look as striking on a shelf because he has like this, it's more like a sparkly finish rather than that chrome gold that we saw on the Mafex. But all in all, I think he's, while limited, I think he's a decent stand-in. Next up, we have the Shore Trooper. Which is probably my favorite from the wave. They were calling him Scarab Trooper, like on the internet and stuff, and I kind of got used to that name, so I guess I'm gonna have to get used to Shore Trooper now. But yeesh, I like Scarab Trooper better, but I guess they don't have scarabs in space and back in the day. I guess, I don't know. He does come with this one accessory. It's a rifle. It's interesting paint job on it. It's like it looks like a airbrush almost, just blast right here, which gives like a little silver accent, but it's like faded at the top. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. Sculpt work is nice. It is warped, so that sucks. That's just this soft plastic they use. Sculpt wise, it's great, and there's lots to talk about. So let's just get going. The head is on a ball hinge, per usual. You get up to there, down to there. Actually, yeah, down to there. Let me see if I can't get it. It's a tight joint up to there, and then the swivel is intact. You got red accents, black accents all on here. Tons of paint, little dirt paint there, which actually looks really good. They've been kind of messing up a little bit on that recently, in my opinion. It's just been looking like messy paint instead of like actual dirt, but that looks good. Down here it's a little different. We'll talk about it when we get there. And then the black accents and stuff all look great there. Really well done. Nice sculpt. Good work. Swivel works fine. Not sure if I mentioned that. Same kind of skinny torso here. I get it. It's just it does look a little strange. Like he needs to hit the gym a little bit and work on the push-ups, it seems. The shoulder armor rather, goes underneath the sculpt and buries it inside in order to get the articulation, so that's nice. All this stuff is sculpted. The blue paint is like painted on, but it has that worn paint look, which is really interesting, and it looks good. The dirt here is a little too heavy, and it looks a little too purposeful and unnatural, in my opinion. The black accents on the back look good. So all that works fairly well, with the exception of that paint. For the shoulders here, we have ball hinges, disc hinges rather, get you up to there and around. Nice sharp paint on the shoulder there, looks good. No bicep swivel, but you get the swivel just above the elbow, and then it hinges to a little bit past 90 degrees. Wrist hinge, and then hinge in and out. So that works well. Same on the other side, except you get an extra piece of red paint here. Or is that sculpt work? I can't. It's got to be black plastic, right? Yeah, so that's painted on. The red is painted on. It's painted inside the joint too, which I don't think is necessary, but it looks nice. And then the yellow accents, and then the blue paint once again. This one's worn. It's a little weird that no wear and tear hit this shoulder pad, but whatevs. We've got the same dirt applied there and on this side. The arms look a little bit better than the chest. Same articulation, elbow and wrist, except this wrist is up and down. So you get the one in, out, one up, down. I think that's nice. You have a single ball joint for a diaphragm joint. Decent range and swivel. So that works well. And then you have this soft floating piece. I kind of wish this was soft goods. You know, it's kind of confusing what they're doing soft goods wise versus plastic wise. I feel like this is a time where soft goods would have worked really well just for like a single accent piece. They've been doing that. That would have been cool, and it wouldn't have hindered articulation at all. This is a weird choice to me, but it is sculpted nicely. Like all the wrinkles and stuff and the seam work down and along it. I just feel like I just don't necessarily get it. But it does bring us the T-jointed ball joints for hips, which get you out to there, forward and back to there. Thigh swivel, and all the wrinkles and textures of the pants are all sculpted in. It does seem like two shades of brown to me, which is a little weird, but on a shelf I don't think you'll notice it. But definitely, like under these lights looking at it, it looks like two different shades. Not sure how it looks to you guys. Double jointed knee, that gets you back to there. And then you have tons of sculpt work on the boots, and then the same dirt kind of effect applied. Some places it's applied better than others. Like it looks really natural up in there, but on this side it kind of looks very purposeful. That's the trick of doing that, and I applaud their effort, but it's just that sometimes it works better than others. And then ankle tilt up to here, down to there, so that's nice. Little limited in this direction, but backward is nice. And then the rocker is built in. So all in all, he's probably my favorite of the line, of the wave rather, in a pretty decent looking figure. Nice work. And then lastly, we have Director Krennic. He comes with one firearm. As far as I can tell, it sits in his holster like that. Although that doesn't seem appropriate, but that's the only way I can get it to work out. We'll talk about this in a minute. And he holds it just fine and has a trigger finger, so that all works very well. The other thing he comes with is this cape. It does sit nicely on him. As long as his arms are both down at his side. And this is another example of when I think that soft goods would have been the better choice. There is nice sculpt work and stuff on here, so I appreciate that, but that was one of the things that Black Series did that I kind of dug. I hope that they're not getting out of that completely. That would be a bummer. Head sculpt wise, it's pretty great. It's not painted extremely well, you know, but it's painted clean and it's painted fine. It's painted what I would expect. I have no issues, complaints, nor concerns regarding this. Good hair sculpt, etc. I think they did a great job. I think a customizer can knock this out of the park, but I think all in all they did a great job. The neck is painted as well on this ball hinge, so it goes down to there, up to there, and then the swivel is intact. There is a little spot of gray on the ear, makes it look like he has an earring, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. As for the shoulders, we have ball hinges with, or disc hinges rather, with great range, I must add, and no thigh swivel. No bicep swivel once again, but we do get the swivel right above the elbow, and the elbow gives us 90 degrees. And this wrist, I should just quit again. Hinges in and out and swivels. This one hinges in and out also. This is a pistol hand, so it would have been nice if it was an up and down. So that's kind of a bummer. Great sculpt work as far as the wrinkles in the suit and so forth, and the way that the suit is sculpted, you can get a fairly natural look, which is nice. This piece here is a softer floating piece, nice paint, black paint, silver paint, etc. Up here we have nice clean silver, blue, and red paint, silver accents. Those all look really well, or work really well. T-jointed ball joints for hips get you out to there because of this bit of business. Once again, if this was a soft goods, actually I'm kind of happy they went hard goods there, but it would help the articulation. And then forward and back to there, which is great. Thigh swivel on both works fine. Pants are all sculpted brilliantly. Nice sculpt work there with the wrinkles and everything, and the way they kind of like bow out like that, like those military-esque pants. Double jointed knees get you back to there. The boots are sculpted, wrinkles and so forth, and it's a glossier paint on them, so that all works well. Ankle tilt down to there, and a nice upward tilt, so that's nice. We don't always get that. And then the rocker's built in, so no real complaints with this fella, other than I wish that the cape was a nice heavy cloth like Vader's cape. Vader's cape from the Hasbro Black Series, which is a $20 line, is one of the better capes I've ever seen. So yeah, that's them. Final thoughts wise, it's a decent set. It comes with some repacks of a Death Trooper, Jin or so, and Cassian, I think is his name. So you only get 3 new figures out of this wave, which is kind of a bummer. I love the Shore Trooper. I wish that one piece was soft goods. But outside of that, I think he makes a great addition to an Imperial shelf. And I love Krennic. I wish that the cape, once again, was soft goods, and that would have been a perfect figure for me. Oh, he also has 2 holding hands and only 1 accessory. You know I hate that. Threepio is, like, fine. Like, he's good enough. $20, I think you're going to open him and feel like, yeesh, like, that was an expensive Threepio. But there's nothing really wrong with him except, you know, the elbows. So I think he's a decent addition. It's just, it doesn't feel, he's not a fulfilling purchase. You know, he's just not a fulfilling purchase. That's the best way to put it. And it's kind of the same with Krennic, except that Krennic can stand there and look fine on a shelf. The Trooper, I would definitely recommend pick up the first time you see him. The rest of them, you know, it's kind of up to you. Hopefully I've given enough information to make you make a choice. I'm glad I have them. Like I have multiple 3POs planned, and this 3PO will be on my sequel shelf, and then I need to get one from my prequel shelf, and then I'm using the Mafex one for my original trilogy shelf. I hope that helps. Things I'd like to see in the line in general is, you know, that mix of soft goods, not overkill like Luke's pajamas and Farmer Luke, but I feel like the little skirt for the Shore Trooper would have worked well, and I feel like a cape on Krennic would have worked well. 3PO should have elbows. They need to figure out a way to make that happen. They can put a man on the moon, so they need to figure out a way to get 3PO elbows. It's not rocket science, okay? Let's work that out, Hasbro. Let's get on that. And then you know, I like to see the bicep swivels come back in Trooper figures, especially where there's armor cuts where it'd be easy to hide. That's about it. I think that the paint is good. I think that the sculpts are good, and I think the materials are fine. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.